The galaxy was quiet when the ships of the Galactic Council appeared above Earth. They came without warning, filling the skies with silver shadows. People on the ground stopped what they were doing and looked up, their faces pale, their hearts racing. These were not small ships. They were massive, shaped like blades of light, cutting through the clouds. The world had never seen such power, not even in dreams. The council had come, and everyone knew this was not a friendly visit. Rumors had been spreading across the galaxy for years. Whispers of a species unlike any other. Whispers of humans. Some said humans could survive where no one else could. Some said they were violent, dangerous, even cursed. Others laughed at the stories, calling them primitive lies. But now the council had come to Earth, not to laugh, not to wonder, but to ask one question. Are the rumors true? Inside the great chamber of the council's flagship, leaders of many alien races sat in silence. Their bodies were different, their eyes glowing, their voices strange. Some were tall and thin like glass towers, others were covered in scales that shimmered with light, and some had no faces at all, only masks of silver. They were the rulers of hundreds of worlds, and yet, at this moment, they looked uneasy. A single figure entered the chamber. Human. Alone. No army behind him, no weapons in his hands. Just a man, dressed in simple clothes, walking with slow steps as if he feared nothing at all. Every alien eye followed him. Some whispered to each other in fear, some in anger, and some in confusion. How could such a small, fragile being walk into the heart of the galaxy's most powerful rulers without trembling? The council leader, a creature with wings like black steel, leaned forward and spoke. His voice was sharp, echoing through the chamber. Human. We have heard stories about your kind. We have heard you are dangerous. We have heard you are not like the others. Tell us, are the rumors true? The human raised his head. His eyes were calm, his face unreadable. He did not bow, he did not stammer, he did not show fear. He simply stood there, and for a moment, the silence was heavier than stone. Aliens shifted in their seats. Some could sense something in the air, something they could not name. The council expected weakness. They expected trembling. But what they saw was stillness, and that stillness was more frightening than anger. Outside, Earth watched the skies. News spread across every city and village. People saw the ships floating above them like gods of fire. Some prayed. Some panicked. Some waited. Humanity had been challenged, and the galaxy wanted answers. But Earth knew one thing: humans had always been survivors. In the chamber, the questions continued. We have records of your wars, another alien said, its voice deep like thunder. We know you burned your own world with fire. We know you fought each other for centuries. No other race has done this and lived. How did you survive? The human smiled faintly, and that smile made the aliens whisper again. It was not the smile of pride, not the smile of shame. It was something else. Something that made even the strongest warriors in the room feel a chill in their bones. The human did not answer at once. He let the silence grow. Every second felt like an eternity. Finally he spoke, his voice soft, but carrying through the hall. We survived because we refused to die. The chamber grew colder. The aliens leaned forward. The words were simple, yet heavy. They carried the weight of centuries of pain, centuries of fire and blood. The council leader narrowed his eyes. Refused? What do you mean? But the human did not explain. He only looked at them with steady eyes. That look was not the look of prey. It was the look of a predator that had been caged too long. And the council began to understand why the rumors had spread, why fear of humans had taken root across the stars. They had expected to see weakness. Instead, they saw something far more dangerous. They saw a species that had looked death in the eye and laughed. The meeting had only just begun, but already the council felt something dark stirring in their hearts. Something told them that the stories they had heard were only fragments of the truth, and the full truth was far worse. The council had come to reveal secrets, but they did not realize they were about to uncover something that would shake the galaxy. And as the humans stood there, calm and silent, the stars outside seemed to flicker, as if the universe itself was holding its breath. The chamber of the Galactic Council was heavy with silence after the humans spoke those words. "We survived because we refused to die." The sentence echoed through the great hall, as if it carried a power no weapon could match. For a moment no one spoke, no one moved. The rulers of the galaxy had seen wars, had destroyed worlds, had crushed empires, but never before had such simple words made their hearts tremble. Finally, one of the council members rose from its seat. It was a being tall and thin, its skin glowing with blue light like glass filled with fire. Its voice was soft but carried across the hall. "Human, we must know the truth. We have heard too many stories. We cannot live with rumors. Tell us what you are. Tell us how you endure what should have destroyed you." The human did not bow. He did not flinch. He stood still, his eyes calm, his voice steady. "Ask your questions," he said, "and I will answer." The chamber stirred. More voices rose, one after another. "Is it true you destroyed your own world many times with fire?" asked a scaled warrior with a voice like a hiss. "Is it true you poisoned your oceans, burned your forests, and yet your kind still multiplies?" Another leaned forward, its massive body shaking the floor. "Is it true you fight each other without end, spilling the blood of your own kind for land, for power, for nothing at all?" A third voice joined, filled with disbelief. "Is it true you walked on your own moon with machines of fire while your people starved on the ground below?" The questions came like waves, one after another, each sharper than the last. They were not simple questions of curiosity. They were accusations, demands, fears given voice. The aliens wanted answers not because they wished to learn, but because they wished to understand how humans could exist at all. The human listened. He did not interrupt. He let their voices rise, let their anger and fear fill the chamber. Only when they grew silent did he finally speak. His words were quiet, but the quiet was more terrible than a shout. "Yes," he said. "It is true." The chamber shook with whispers. Aliens turned to each other, some gasping, some shaking their heads. The human had not denied it. He had not hidden from the truth. He had accepted it with no shame, no apology. The scaled warrior rose, its tail slamming the floor. "Impossible. A species cannot survive such madness. Fire consumes, poison kills, war erases. How can you still be here?" The human turned his head and looked directly at the warrior. His eyes were steady, calm, yet behind them was something deeper, something none of the aliens could name. "Because we learned to live with fire. We learned to walk through poison. We learned to fight even when there was nothing left to fight for." His words were heavy, and the silence that followed was heavier still. Another alien spoke, this one smaller, its body covered in silver masks that hid its true face. Its voice was almost fearful. "But why? Why do you keep fighting? Most species learn peace or they die. You seem to embrace death, and still you do not vanish. What drives you?" The human's lips curved slightly, not into a smile of joy, but something colder, something sharper. "Because we are not afraid of death. We have seen it too many times. It does not rule us. It only shapes us." The chamber darkened, as if the stars outside the ship had dimmed. Many council members shifted uncomfortably. They realized the rumors had not been lies, not wild tales told in fear. They were truths, but only small pieces of a much larger truth. The stories they had heard were like shadows on a wall, and now they were facing the fire itself. One elder of the council, a being of great age with a body like living stone, finally spoke, its voice deep and slow. "There is something you are not telling us, human. Rumors say there is more. Rumors say your people carry something inside, something that even the universe cannot erase. What is it? What is your darkest secret?" The words hung in the air like a blade. Every alien leaned forward, their eyes fixed on the human. The council had demanded the truth, but now they feared hearing it. The human did not answer at once. He let the silence grow long and heavy. He let them feel the weight of his gaze. And when he finally spoke, his voice was calm, yet it carried the edge of something terrible. Our darkest secret is not what we have done. It is what we can become. The chamber froze. The words were not clear, but their meaning was enough to make the air feel colder, heavier. The aliens exchanged fearful glances. They wanted to ask more, but none found the courage. Deep inside they felt that pushing further might reveal something the galaxy was not ready to know. The humans' calm eyes moved across the room, and everywhere they fell, silence followed. And though no one would admit it, in that moment, every ruler of the Galactic Council felt a shadow crawl over their hearts, the shadow of a truth too dark to face. The questions had been asked, the answers had been given, and yet the mystery was only deeper. Humanity's story was not a tale of survival. It was a warning. The council chamber felt colder after the human spoke. His last words, "Our darkest secret is not what we have done. It is what we can become," still echoed in the ears of every alien ruler. None of them moved. None of them dared to speak. It was as if the walls themselves were listening. The silence stretched too long, and in that silence something dangerous began to grow. Fear. The kind of fear that creeps into the bones and does not leave. Slowly, whispers began to spread across the chamber. Aliens leaned toward each other, speaking in voices so low they thought the human could not hear. But he heard. He heard every word. "It must be true," one said, its eyes wide. "I heard stories on the rim worlds. They say humans heal faster than any species. They say their bodies fight death itself." Another leaned closer, trembling. "No, I heard different. I heard they can kill without weapons. That they use their bare hands, their teeth, their fury. They fight until nothing is left standing." A third voice hissed from the corner. "That is not their secret. Their secret is darker. They say humans do not break. No matter what is done to them, they do not fall. They change, they adapt, they rise again. Even when all hope is gone." The whispers grew louder, like a storm building. Rumors flowed like poison, filling the air. Some claimed humans had survived plagues created by ancient empires. Some claimed humans had lived through worlds of fire and ice where no life should exist. Others whispered that humans carried something inside them, a shadow, a hunger, a will that the universe itself could not crush. The human stood in silence, watching. His calmness only fed the fear. It was not the calm of peace, but the calm of someone who had seen too much and carried it like armor. The council leader slammed his claw against the table, silencing the whispers for a moment. His wings spread wide, dark and sharp like blades. "Enough," he growled. "We are rulers of the galaxy. We will not be ruled by rumors. Human, speak. What is it you hide? What is this secret your people carry?" The human's eyes met his, steady, unshaken. He did not answer right away. Instead he let the silence return, heavier than before. The aliens shifted uneasily. Some wanted to press harder, others wanted to end the meeting at once and leave Earth behind forever. But none could turn away. Finally, the human spoke. "You have seen pieces of the truth. Pieces of our wars, our fire, our survival. But pieces are not the whole. The truth is this: we were shaped by pain. And in pain, we became something different." His words struck like stone. The whispers started again, softer now, filled with dread. The oldest council member, the one of living stone, leaned forward, its cracks glowing faintly. Its voice was slow but strong. "Different how? What are you truly?" The human's expression did not change, but his voice dropped lower, forcing them to lean closer to hear. "When we are cornered, when we have nothing left, when death is certain, we do not fall. We change. We become what is needed to survive. And nothing in the galaxy can stop us then." The room went still. Some gasped, Some shivered, some turned their faces away. The meaning was clear, yet terrible. Humanity was not dangerous because of their weapons, their machines, or their numbers. They were dangerous because when pushed to the edge, they became something else. Something no one could predict, something no one could defeat. One younger council member rose to his feet, his voice shaking. "I do not believe it. No species can bend the universe like that. It is a lie. It is a trick." But even as he shouted, his voice betrayed his fear. Deep down, he knew the human was not lying. The truth was too sharp, too heavy to be false. Across the chamber, some aliens wanted to leave, others wanted to strike, and still others wanted to listen further. The division was clear, but one feeling bound them all: fear. The council leader bared his teeth, wings spread wide. "Tell us more, human. Tell us what happens when you change. Tell us what you become." The human's eyes darkened. He did not smile. He did not flinch. He only answered with words that chilled the room like ice. "We become what you fear most." The whispers stopped. The chamber fell silent again, but this silence was worse than before. It was the silence of hearts frozen by terror. Each alien imagined something different, but each vision was darker than the last. The human did not explain. He did not need to. The mystery was more powerful than the truth. The council could not escape the feeling that whatever humanity's darkest secret was, it was already awake, already alive, and already watching them. For the first time in centuries, the rulers of the galaxy felt small. The whispers of the dark secret had begun, and they would not be silenced. The chamber of the Galactic Council was heavy with dread. The human's last words, "We become what you fear most," still hung in the air like a blade ready to fall. No one spoke. No one dared to breathe too loudly. The rulers of the galaxy, who had crushed empires and commanded fleets, now sat frozen before one unarmed man. The silence was unbearable, so at last the Elder of Living Stone broke it. Its voice was slow, deep, and unshaken by time. "If this is true, then tell us, human. We demand to know. What did you become when your world tried to kill you again and again?" The human's gaze swept across the chamber. His eyes were calm, but behind them was fire. He waited a moment, letting the weight of the question settle over them. Then he spoke, his voice steady and low, but filled with something no alien could name. "We became survivors. Not because we were the strongest. Not because we were the fastest. But because we refused to vanish when every force in the universe tried to erase us." The council leader hissed, his steel wings unfolding. "Words," he snapped. "Empty words. Give us proof." The human tilted his head slightly, almost as if amused. "You want proof," he said softly. "Then hear the story of our past. You will understand why you should have left your rumors alone." The chamber leaned forward. None dared look away. And so the human began to unveil the truth. There was a time when the sky itself tried to destroy us. Fire fell from above, mountains of stone crashing into our world. Entire species vanished in an instant. Yet we remained. Burned, broken, crawling from the ashes, but alive. Do you understand? When the planet itself tried to kill us, we learned to stand again. Murmurs spread through the chamber, sharp and fearful. The human continued. "Then came ice. A cold so deep it should have ended us. We starved, we froze, we died in numbers beyond counting. But still, some of us endured. We learned to build fire, to shelter, to wait until the world turned warm again. We lived where no life should have lived." The aliens shifted uneasily. They had records of the ice ages, the great extinctions of Earth, but hearing it spoken this way, by the very species who had walked through them, made the truth more terrifying. The human's voice grew stronger. "We faced disease. Plagues that turned cities into graves. Darkness that wiped out millions. Each time, we should have vanished. But instead, we adapted. We changed. We grew stronger. The diseases that killed us became the reason our blood learned to fight. Do you see now? Even death itself teaches us how to live. Whispers spread again, this time louder. Many aliens trembled. They knew their own species had fallen when facing far smaller threats. Entire civilizations had been erased by single disasters. Yet humans had endured disaster after disaster, as if forged by the universe's cruelty. The human stepped forward, his voice echoing like a drum. And then we faced ourselves. War. Endless war. We fought each other with stones, with blades, with fire, with machines. We burned cities, drowned nations, split the very atom to make sons of death. No other species has been so willing to destroy itself. Yet here we are. Still alive. Still standing. Do you understand what that means? The council chamber was silent again, but this silence was heavy with terror. They realized the human was not speaking in riddles. He was revealing the secret they had feared. Humanity was not strong because it avoided death. Humanity was strong because it had lived with death so long that it no longer feared it. The council leader tried to speak, but his voice shook. You survived. All of that? The human nodded slowly. We did more than survive. We learned. Each time we faced extinction, we became something new. Stronger. Harder. Smarter. We are the sum of every disaster, every plague, every war, every fire. That is what we are. That is what we can become. His words struck them like thunder. The galaxy had long believed strength came from peace, from stability, from order. But here stood proof of a different truth, that true power was born from suffering, from chaos, from pain. The elder of living stone lowered its head, cracks glowing faintly as if in sorrow. Then the rumors were never enough, it whispered. The truth is worse than the fear. The human's gaze grew sharper. Yes, he said simply. Because you think our darkest secret is what we survived. But you are wrong. Our secret is that we are not afraid to face it all again. If the universe throws its worst at us tomorrow, we will still be here the day after. The chamber froze. The words carried no pride, no boast, only truth. And truth was more terrifying than any weapon. Aliens who had ruled for centuries now felt like prey before a predator. The unveiling was complete. The rumors were no longer whispers. The truth stood before them, calm, unshaken, undeniable. And every ruler in the chamber understood one thing: humanity's darkest secret was not hidden anymore. It was alive, and it was staring back at them. The chamber was silent after the unveiling. The aliens had demanded truth, and the human had given it to them. Now every ruler of the Galactic Council sat frozen, unable to speak, unable to deny what they had heard. Humanity had survived fire, ice, plague, and even itself. They had refused to die when every force of the universe demanded their extinction. But the silence did not last. A voice rose from the far end of the chamber, a thin alien wrapped in golden cloth, its eyes narrow and glowing like embers. There is more, it said coldly. There is something you have not spoken of, human. Something the council has buried for centuries. The others turned, uneasy, but no one stopped the golden one from speaking. Do not think we know nothing of your kind. We remember. Long ago, before your species reached the stars, before you built ships and fire machines, we came here. We tested you. Gasps spread through the hall. Younger members of the council looked shocked, but the older ones only lowered their eyes in shame. The golden alien continued, its voice like a blade. We feared you even then. The rumors had already begun. So we came in secret. We planted plagues. We twisted storms. We made your wars worse. We wanted to see if the humans could be broken. The human did not move. He did not look surprised. He only watched, his eyes steady, as if he already knew the story. The golden one leaned forward. But you did not break. Every test we gave you, you survived. Our plagues only made your bodies stronger. Our storms only taught you to build better shelters. Our wars only made your weapons sharper, your spirits harder. We tried to erase you, but each attempt failed. Instead of dying, you became something we could not control. The chamber filled with whispers again, but this time they were whispers of shame and fear. Many younger rulers turned on the older ones. You interfered with them, one shouted. You risked the balance of the galaxy? Another hissed in anger. You created the very monster we now fear. The golden alien ignored them. Its eyes never left the human. You were supposed to be erased. Yet here you stand, stronger than ever. Tell me, human, was it fate? Or was it something darker? For the first time, the human took a step closer to the council table. His voice was calm, but it carried a weight that silenced the whispers. It was neither. It was choice. You wanted us to break, but you did not understand. We do not break. We adapt. Every plague, every storm, every war. You gave us gifts, though you did not mean to. You gave us reasons to grow. And we grew. The golden alien trembled, its anger rising. You call our disasters gifts? The human nodded once. Yes. Because without them, we would not be what we are now. You tried to kill us, and all you did was make us unstoppable. The words struck like thunder. The council members looked at each other, their fear turning into something worse, regret. The truth was out now. The galaxy had not only feared humans. It had helped shape them. The failed experiment had not erased humanity. It had forged them into something far beyond what nature alone could create. One of the younger rulers slammed his claws against the table. Fools! You cursed us all. If they survived your tests, then nothing will ever destroy them. We made them eternal. The elder of living stone groaned, its voice heavy with sorrow. We did what we thought was necessary. But the universe punished us for our arrogance. We believed we could control them, shape them, limit them. Instead, we taught them how to rise against anything. The human's eyes swept across the chamber again, calm but sharp as blades. You wanted the truth of our darkest secret. Now you have part of it. You are the reason we are what we are. You turned us into something you cannot undo. The golden alien's voice cracked, filled with fury. Then you are our greatest mistake. But the human shook his head slowly. No. We are your greatest warning. The words cut deeper than any weapon. The rulers of the galaxy, beings who had ruled for ages, now sat in silence before the species they had tried to erase. Their experiment had failed, and their failure had unleashed something that could never again be caged. Outside the chamber, beyond the walls of the council ship, the stars burned quietly, watching. And though nothing had yet happened, every ruler felt the same heavy truth pressing on their hearts. The humans were not just survivors. They were the result of everything the galaxy had thrown at them. And now the question was no longer whether the rumors were true. The question was what humanity would do next. The council chamber was drowning in silence after the truth of the failed experiment was revealed. The aliens who had once thought themselves wise and untouchable now looked shaken, some even broken. They had tried to erase humanity, yet their interference had only made humans stronger. The golden alien still trembled with fury, but even it dared not speak again. The weight of the truth pressed down on them all like a storm. Then, slowly, the human stepped forward. His movements were calm, his face unreadable, but his presence filled the vast chamber more than any army could. Every eye turned to him. Every whisper died away. His voice, when it came, was steady and low, but it carried across the hall like thunder. You wanted our darkest secret. You wanted to know why your rumors never told the whole story. Now I will give you the answer. You believe you fear us because we survived. You believe you fear us because we endured what no other species could. But that is not the truth. The truth is that when we are forced to fight, we do not remain as we are. We change. We become something else. Something no one in this galaxy can control. The words spread like fire through the chamber. Some aliens recoiled, others leaned forward as if unable to stop themselves from listening. The council leader with steel wings rose, his face twisted in rage and fear. "What are you saying, human? Speak clearly." The human's eyes darkened. "I am saying this. We are not afraid of monsters. We become monsters when we must." The chamber shook with gasps. Many rulers had heard the words, but few truly believed them. Yet looking at the human now, calm and cold, they knew he spoke only truth. Images filled their minds, humans fighting in mud with bare hands, tearing down predators larger than themselves, building weapons from nothing, surviving against odds so impossible they should have been dust. It was not myth. It was the shape of humanity itself. The elder of living stone lowered its head, voice heavy with sorrow. "And if the galaxy forces you to fight?" The human's reply came without hesitation. "Then the galaxy will learn what we are. And it will fear us more than death itself." The rulers shifted uneasily, the weight of his words pressing into their bones. This was not a threat spoken with anger. It was a promise spoken with certainty. The golden alien hissed, trying to regain control. "You boast too much, human. Do you think we cannot destroy you? Our fleets are countless, our weapons vast. You are only one world." The human turned his gaze upon the golden alien, and his calm expression was more terrifying than rage. "You already tried. You poisoned us, burned us, tore us apart, and we are still here. What will you use now that you have not used before? What weapon will you forge that we cannot turn into strength? If you fight us again, you will not win. You will only make us worse." The golden alien fell silent, its fury drained into fear. For the first time in living memory, the rulers of the galaxy had no answer. The human looked around the chamber once more. His voice grew softer, but every word was sharp. "We do not seek war. We do not seek to rule the stars. But if you come to our world again with chains and blades, if you force us to fight for our survival, you will see the truth of who we are. You will see the monsters you fear. And you will regret waking them." The council members sat in silence. No one dared interrupt. The truth was clear. Humanity's reply was not filled with rage, but with certainty. They were not threatening the galaxy, they were warning it. Outside the chamber, the stars burned brighter, as if listening. Inside, the rulers shifted uneasily. They had demanded humanity's darkest secret, and now they had heard it. Not survival. Not endurance. Transformation. The ability to become whatever was needed, no matter how terrible, no matter how impossible. The council leader finally lowered his wings, his voice quieter than before. "Then you are not like any other race we have known." The human nodded. "No. We are something different. We are not prey. We are not weak. We are not afraid. We are the storm that comes when the universe tries to end us." His words fell like stones into the silence, heavy and final. And in that moment, every ruler in the chamber knew the truth. Humanity had given its reply. The galaxy would never forget it. The chamber was silent after the human spoke. His final words, "We are the storm that comes when the universe tries to end us," still hung in the air like thunder rolling across endless skies. None of the alien rulers moved. None of them spoke. They had asked for the truth, and now they had it. Humanity had given its reply, and it was a warning. The silence stretched long, and in that silence the rulers of the galaxy felt something they had not felt in ages. Fear. Real fear. The kind that made even the strongest hesitate. Slowly, the elder of living stone lifted its ancient head. Its glowing cracks pulsed faintly as it spoke in a voice heavy with sorrow. "The stars will not be the same after this. The galaxy has changed." Others shifted uncomfortably. Some wanted to leave, some wanted to argue, and some wanted to strike now, before the human's words could spread. But none of them found the courage to act. The council leader with steel wings leaned forward, his eyes sharp and burning. "Human," he said, his voice lower now, no longer filled with rage but with unease. "What is it you seek? Do you wish for war? Do you wish to spread fear across the galaxy?" The human shook his head slowly. His calm face remained unreadable. "No. We do not seek war. We do not seek to rule you. All we ask is this: leave us be. Do not chain us. Do not test us again. We only wish to live. But if you force us to fight, then the galaxy itself will tremble." His words sent a chill through the chamber. The rulers glanced at each other, but none spoke. They understood. Humanity was not begging. Humanity was not threatening. Humanity was simply stating the truth. The golden alien, still trembling with shame and anger, spat its words. "This is madness. We cannot let them live. If they are what they claim, then they are a danger to us all. We must destroy them before it is too late." But his words rang hollow. The rulers did not nod, did not roar in agreement. Instead, their silence betrayed the truth. They were not sure they could destroy humanity even if they tried. Too many questions clawed at their minds. What if the human was right? What if every weapon they used only made the species stronger? What if, in trying to end humanity, they created something far worse? The doubt was poison, spreading through the chamber. And doubt, once planted, does not die easily. The human watched them with calm eyes. Then he spoke once more, and his words fell like stones into the silence. "You fear us because you think we are dangerous now. But the truth is darker. We are still young, still growing, still learning. If you fear us today, then what will you feel tomorrow?" The chamber froze. The aliens could see it in their minds. The humans spreading across the stars, not with fleets of conquest, but with the same will to survive that had carried them through fire and ice. They would adapt to new worlds, endure new disasters, and rise again stronger each time. And there would be no limit, no end, to what they could become. For the first time, the galaxy rulers realized the storm had not yet come. Humanity was only at the beginning. The Elder of Living Stone lowered its head again, whispering words no one wished to hear. "We awakened them. And now nothing will put them back to sleep." The council leader's wings folded close, heavy with shame. The golden alien raged, but its voice was drowned in silence. The decision had already been made, not with votes, not with laws, but with fear. No ruler dared to strike humanity now. No one dared to test them again. The human turned, his steps slow and steady, and began to walk out of the chamber. None stopped him. None called after him. But as he reached the great doors, he paused and spoke one last time. His voice was calm, steady, unshaken. "You wanted to know our darkest secret. Now you do. We are not your enemy, unless you make us so. Remember this: storms do not begin wars. But when they come, they leave nothing the same." With that, he stepped into the shadows, and the doors closed behind him. For a long moment, the chamber remained silent. Then the whispers began again, softer, fearful, spreading like cracks in stone. Across the galaxy, the story would spread. The council had demanded Earth's surrender, but humanity's reply had shaken the stars. Worlds would tremble. Empires would whisper. And the name of humanity would never again be spoken without fear. Outside the council ship, the stars burned quietly, but to the rulers watching, they seemed different now, sharper, colder, alive. It was as if the universe itself had heard the humans' words and was waiting to see what would come next. And though no one would admit it, every ruler in that chamber knew the truth. The storm had spoken. The galaxy would never be the same again.